Okay, so hi, I'm Lana, and this is the first episode of the podcast that we don't have a name for yet, but we're really excited to be here finally. We've been dreaming about doing this for I think over a year at this point.
Yeah.
And would you like to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah. I'm Nikki. I'm 33. Haven't drank alcohol in 3 weeks.
Thank you for sharing. Oh my gosh, 33, almost 34.
Yeah, when you're talking about we're on the back half of our lives, I was like, Jesus, God, don't say that.
I know. I actually really hated when she said that to me because I don't subscribe to that because any day could be the back half.
We could be on the last rung of the ladder. We don't know.
But I really do think, to be so real with you, my phone does those memory pop-ups with pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a picture of myself from 2020, which probably doesn't count because that time doesn't really exist. However, just looking at myself then and now, I'm like, there's 6 years of difference here, but I feel like I look so much lighter in spirit and also feel way more like myself now than I did then. And I was still in my 20s, I think, at that time. Oh, yeah, I was about to turn 30.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still only 34, by the way.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record, just, if anyone cares. But so I really do think that 30s are they're still hard, but they're less fucked up than 20s were,
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we're less emotional or definitely more shut off. So it makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. For me, that's been medication in my 30s. I didn't get medicated till my 30s, and I think that's made my 30s more enjoyable for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, tretinoin helps with the glow, the youthful glow.
The youthful glow. I think I have to stop tretinoin actually because the side effects of the dry eyes is really intense for me, and it's what do I want more, working eyeballs or a youthful glow? For a while I chose youthful glow, but now I think maybe eyeballs is
That's
better.
so interesting. I've never picked up on that side effect.
You've never had it?
No, I don't think so. But what
Wow.
I do get is where my lips crack at the corner, and it hurts so bad. And so when I smile, it's because I can't do anything.
Like the Joker.
Yeah. Well, I know how I got these scars. And it's just me using face cream and eating popsicles.
Classic.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God. Well, on that note, speaking of age and having youthful glow, one of the things, so this podcast, for those that may care to watch, we kind of are interested in so many different things. Together, we love going to concerts, we love reading, but we're also pretty opinionated on things, politics, current events, etc. But we also are going to want to explore whatever the fuck we want, because guess what? We can do whatever we want on God's internet. So one of the things I thought could be fun as a way to introduce ourselves is go over our birth charts, because somehow I've never read Nikki's birth chart before, which is actually kind of fucked up. But it's really
because
cool.
we should mention we've known each other since, well, okay, I would have been 8 years old.
Yeah, second grade, I think.
Third grade. Yeah.
Third grade? Is that what you moved? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I remember. Yeah, I moved. Yeah, so I think I would have been 8. Yeah. And so now we've established 33. And so 33 minus 8, that's how long you have it from my birth chart.
No, so that's going to be some karma that I'm going to have to pay at some point, I think. But yeah, and
I don't think my parents would have allowed me at your house if you're like, I'm going to read your birth chart.
Certainly not. But it's fucked up. I did have those types of books in my house growing up. We had a fat astrology book, and I had one on dream symbolism. I think that's my mom was really into that stuff, and that's definitely what led to the heathenry that I'm into today, I guess. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Share. All right. Let me zoom in just so we have maybe for the audience, of course.
Also for me, I can't see well.
Okay. Is that good for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So just to kind of, I'm not going to go super deep dive, but if you're not familiar with what a birth chart is, it's essentially a snapshot of where the planets and other special points of interest are on the moment of your birth. You have to provide the day of birth, the time within 15 minutes of birth, and then the location. So every birth chart is like a fingerprint. They're all unique and they can just be fun. You don't have to really take them super seriously, but I think they can show, personality, life lessons, career aptitude, how we show and give love to others, friendships, relationships. You can pretty much ask any question you have and look at your birth chart and find an answer. So looking at this, it's really confusing and scary if you've never looked at a birth chart before, but essentially all birth charts are a circle usually divided into 12 slices like a pie, and each slice of this pie has a different meaning. So they're called houses. Your first house is your identity, the second house is finances, and it goes all the way around the wheel. The symbols along the outskirts, they're going to be different for everyone depending on where you were born and when, but these are the zodiac signs. So we've got Virgo here, Leo, etc. And then these little dudes are all of the planets or other special interests that astrologers are really interested in looking at when they're looking at your birth chart. So, Nikki, you are a Cancer sun. That's what this little boob symbol is. It's the sun.
Perfect.
Here's,
Yeah.
so
69.
69, baby, every day. And that's like really reflective of you, I think. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the abstract viewpoint of the astrological symbol. So,
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, do you feel like you resonate with like being a Cancer?
yeah, every time I read like a Cancer's horoscope, I'm always like, yeah, that's me. I'm very emotional. Like, it's detrimental. So yeah, I'm very emotional, and I am like such an empath, which I think is like very Cancer forward. So I think on my outward appearance, very much I'm a Cancer. And then I
Yeah.
feel like also my emotions like are maybe driven by the Leo factor that you and I like kind of talked about. It's like subtly I'm this Leo underneath, but we can get into that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think the other cool thing about cancers is they have that hard shell. So it's like, although they're emotional and empathetic, like they do have their ability to like protect themselves if they need to, which is really important for water signs, I find, so that you don't take on so much of other people's shit. But so in astrology, you'll probably hear people saying, what are your big three? So your zodiac sign is your sun sign. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
one that most people think of when they hear astrology. And your next in the big three series would be your moon sign. So your moon is up here at the top of your chart in Aries. And so Aries, yeah. Well, first let's talk about what the moon represents. So the moon in astrology represents your emotions actually and how you feel things. And I believe it also represents your relationship with your mother, I think. I'm not a professional, people. I do this for fun. And so when you have like an Aries moon sign, Aries is fire energy. They're leaders. They typically make like rash decisions, but it kind of works out for them all the time. It pisses me off a little bit, but they are like visionaries because they're the first zodiac sign in all of the like they're the first like beginning of the year. Basically, it starts with Aries. So when it comes
Interesting.
to like emotions, and honestly, I could maybe see this to you for you. Like you're very passionate and like you love really hard, and I do think you have that like fiery energy because you picked up on the Leo part, but the Aries is there as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think about any of that?
Well, to be honest, I don't know much about the Aries like sign, and
Mm-hmm.
how they I don't even know if I know an Aries. Like that's how
Mm,
little I know about it. Because
yeah.
that's how I like relate to like I know Sagittarius because I have so many of them in my life, and but Aries I don't think I know. So when are the date ranges for that?
Aries is April, like early. I think it's like I think it's like end of March, like March 20th through April, near the end of April.
Yeah. I don't really think I have any
Yeah.
people that I celebrate their birthdays with. I'm like can relate that back to. So that's probably why I do know some Leos though. That's how I'm familiar.
That's why you
And
think about that.
interestingly, I don't get along with them that well. So it makes sense, I guess.
Honestly, it's funny you say that about like Aries because I never got along with Aries. Like anytime I worked with them, I never really had any close friends with them, but I do find myself like drawn to that like fire energy now as like in
Mm-hmm.
my 30s for sure. Yeah, they're just cool.
Yeah.
The next part of your big three, so your Cancer Sun, Aries moon, and then your rising sign, which is not a planet at all. It's just a place on your chart and it has to do within the sign that is, I believe, literally rising at the time of your birth. So that for you is Leo, and a Leo rising is, according to my coach that I now have, a star power position, and it's also very expressive, theatrical. They're usually marked by their hair. Actually, they say that like the rising sign shows you how someone like physically presents in the world, and so they usually like love their hair, like to spend a lot of time on it, as well as like having like more of a theatrical presence. So I'm curious how you feel about that.
Well, if I'm going to be a star, my first thought is I really need to get on a GLP-1 because I have the face for radio, you know? So.
That's not true at all. We're here on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, if we get that, like, I really want a Medicube sponsor through this because right now I just want that fake baby fat on my face. And so if we could
get that going.
But the thing is, we're not going to get that attention. Looking like this. That's how I feel. So
that's not true. I think people love us.
Like they do love us. But will Medicube love us? That's what I'm saying.
That's a great question. Yeah. Medicube, if you're out there, maybe the AI gods can like, I don't know.
Source this up.
Exactly. Source it.
That'd be a really deep pull from the internet if this did end up on Medicube's radar. Could you imagine?
I can't imagine. And you know what? We're going to manifest it. So
yeah.
That's I think, please. And so like with their birth chart, you have this snapshot of like where everything is at the moment of your birth. But then as time goes on, the planets are always fucking moving and shit. And so that is really important if you're interested in astrology to like keep up with transits and how things are going to affect you. So for listeners, I haven't shown my chart yet, but I'm also a Leo rising. And there's a really exciting transit about to happen, and it's Jupiter, which is like the sign of expansiveness and luck and everything. It's moving into Leo starting, I think, this weekend and going to be in that sign for the whole next year. And so this really is our time to manifest the things that we want that are going to expand our horizons and bring hopefully money and opportunities. And because it's going to be in Leo, that is such an expressive placement already. Like it's really good for us essentially. So
I mean, it's our time for sure, because if not now, when? If you look back, we need some good luck in our life, that's for sure. So I think about the Leo rising, I think it's very interesting and insightful. I always felt like there could be something fun about me, and I just don't really know what that is, I haven't identified that yet. So this could be my year to identify that.
Well, it's interesting you say that because we've had conversations before where you felt blocked creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at your chart, you actually have Chiron here in the first house in Leo. So Chiron, it's not a planet, but it's based on mythology where Chiron was a wounded healer. I believe he was a centaur who was shot by an arrow that did not kill him, but it caused him pain for the rest of his life. And then he used that experience of his own pain to heal other people, I think through medicine. And so when you are looking at a chart and you see Chiron in an area, that means that they're going to have some healing that needs to be figured out. And so to have it with Leo, also you have it here next to Venus, which is how you receive love, and you also have it near Mercury, which is how you communicate and like how you express yourself. So something to consider, that there's a lot going
There's
on.
some, yeah, but no, and it checks out. It does check out. It's been a really weepy year for me, so I think there's some stuff going on. So that checks out. Yeah, yeah, interesting.
And this first house is all about identity also. So it's about how you're going to process like who you are, what you love, and how you're going to express that to the world. So yeah, it's cool. It's a fun time. This stuff down here, it gets really technical. I won't go through all of it, but one of the things I did want to talk about is you have the sign of your sun, which again is in Cancer, and your moon, which is in Aries, and they're at a square to one another. And a square is basically at 90 degrees from one another, which causes like a hard aspect, which can make those two signs like kind of struggle to relate with one another. So it could mean that with your sun sign and who you are and who you present yourself and your identity and how you feel your relations could be at a tug of war with one another. So
interesting.
Yeah. Something to think about.
That is astute birth chart. Astute.
And the other thing I want to just mention before we kind of move on, because I could spend 1,000 years on this, but you have like, okay, so all of these lines that you see, these are all showing you like the aspects to one another. So one of the ones that I found really interesting is you have this triangle right here, which I had to look it up because my birth chart does not have something like this, but yours, it's called a T-square, I believe, which means that you have at the apex a planet that is squaring two other planets, and they're making this like triangle. So yours is the apex is Pluto, Saturn, and I think it looks like it's Venus, but let me make sure. Yeah, Venus. So to have like this square, this T square with Venus, which is how you accept love and your aesthetic preference and all that like romantic fun stuff, and then Saturn, which is like a really intense planet of like learning life lessons, and then Pluto, which is the planet of regeneration and transformation. I think to go deeper, at some point we could like look and see what that might mean for you, because you've got identity. When we're looking at houses, you've got identity here. Fourth house is about family. Seventh house is about relationships. So something for us to contemplate at some point in the future.
Most certainly. Yeah, I mean, I could put my business out there on the internet, but this makes sense. Yeah, like to sum that up, that makes sense. That is actually a very interesting thing to think about. It seems like that this aspect of healing throughout, and then like identifying those relationships, which has been something kind of at the forefront of my therapeutic journey as of late. I think that is very intriguing that this is what it pulled. I'm curious, like, does your birth chart change like throughout your life? Like, so it stays the same?
It stays the same, but what changes is the other planets and how they are going to like highlight different areas of your chart depending on their movements. And then there's this other thing called annual perfections, and that means that for each age you turn, you enter a different house of your life, and that gets highlighted. And we could look at an annual perfection chart at some point and see, as you're going into this next year, what 34 is for you. I think 34 might be the 9th or 10th house. I can't remember, because I know I looked at it when I turned 34. But yeah, so it doesn't change, but the planets are always changing, so they're always going to be taking a look. And you can always cast charts at different points in your life too. So you can do one on like meaningful dates to you and see like what was happening at that point.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see yours and then how they align as well.
Yes, it's actually it's spooky. So I'll switch over to mine real fast. I'm not going to go like super detailed into it, but my big three, I'm a Scorpio sun, a Capricorn moon, and a Leo rising. So Nikki and I share that. But one of the things that I immediately found really interesting is that we have our house, because we're both Leo risings, our houses are all the same signs. So, and this, by the way, for people watching this, I'm using whole signs right now just because it's a little bit more simpler than Placidus. But so in our second house, we both have Virgo. In our third house, we both have Libra, etc. And so the other thing that is similar for us is Pluto, which is a generational sign. It moves really slow. It's a generational planet and it moves really slowly. So anyone born around the same time that we were will also have their Pluto in Scorpio. But our Pluto in Scorpio is both in the fourth house of family. So that's really interesting. We both also have Jupiter in our, I believe yours is in, the second house as well. And that's actually a really, really good placement. It's supposed to bring expansiveness for your finances. And Virgo is the sign of like hard work and enjoying the finer things in life. I also think of them as being like very grounded, a little bit stubborn, but like that's good for us financially. Fingers crossed it pays off.
Yeah. This podcast is the only thing I've going for me at the moment, so that means we're about to get sponsored big time.
I know, this Jupiter coming into Leo, let's go, baby. Like, I'm ready for it. But like the other thing that was interesting is we both also have Saturn in our seventh house of relationships. We also have your midheaven is in Aries, right? Yes. So that's different. But and your midheaven is a placement in your chart with the sign, I believe, that was like directly above you on the day of your birth, I think. And that is kind of how it can be based to your career, it can be based on how you present publicly. But anyways, the most interesting thing to me about my birth chart is you saw Nikki's is like really beautifully scattered all over. She's got like a really good balance, and mine is all on the bottom horizon of my chart. And I'm like very Scorpio stellium and Capricorn stellium, which makes life hard, basically. So it's a good time over here. But I think, birth charts can just be a really fun way to explore ourselves. So that's an introduction to us, I guess.
When you said that your chart was on the bottom half of the horizon, it made me think of Bring Me the Horizon, and I wanted to know, did you listen to their new song?
I love that you brought that up because I literally have that in my notes app to talk about. I did listen to it and I fucking love it.
I got chills.
Yeah. And maybe we need to make a podcast playlist so people can listen to the songs that we're talking about. But there's this place, and I was going to see if I could share my Spotify and have it play like this little section, but basically like 2 minutes and 35 seconds in that song. And we're talking about this song, Dehumanized by Bring Me the Horizon. It's like this incredible guitar riff.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, that just was like, it felt like I was back in time. Like it just reminded me of like that, like 2010 style of metal almost.
Yeah. It's like that certain like note that they hit with the guitar. I don't know what it is, but it's very nostalgic, and it really changes the vibe of the entire song. I felt like it was almost like a pick-me-up in a way. Just to bring you back down again. It's like, but it was, I mean, I listened to it on my phone, like just playing out loud, but then I put my headphones in and that's when I got chills. I was like, this is actually incredible. And then reading along with the lyrics, it's a really apt song for things that we've been feeling in this moment in time with capitalism and us just being a cog in the machine versus people treating us like human beings and caring in that aspect. So
Ollie's gonna do it every time.
And I feel like, I mean, that's obviously what he's been about for so long, but you know, now he's a dad of twins and still doing it and looking good while he's doing it.
I agree. And okay, so for people that are watching or listening, Nikki and I, we love going to shows, and our last show together was Bring Me the Horizon, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's incredible to be able to see them live. I mean, if you have the opportunity, you have to. They put on such an insane performance. And I agree. I was thinking the same thing when I was listening to the song. The lyrics aren't up on Spotify yet. It's so frustrating to me. So I need to look them up. But I felt that this was like a song that was really commentating on what's going on in our current reality, which leads me to the next song I want to talk about really quickly. I found it through a friend because she lives next to the guy that created it, and it's called Melt the Ice. And it's by, let me look up the name of the band real fast. Apostate Monarch.
Okay.
And it's metal. It's really good. Also, I'm sure you can imagine what the song is about. Really necessary right now. I love it when people use their platform to make art that like speaks power, or speaks truth to power rather. So
it brings attention to the issue. And it's also helpful to let people know where you stand in a way, because I think that's how you can start relating to one another. So yeah, that's amazing. I'll have to give that a listen. Is it on Spotify?
It is. It might also be on Apple Music. I'm not sure, but it's good.
It's at minimum on YouTube, so you can find it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing about this podcast. We do want people to know that we are very strictly anti-fascism, anti-MAGA, anti all of this lunacy that's happening in the United States. And like, this is a place for us to, I don't know, create some sort of community with others who are feeling fucking scared and lost, but also finding ways to like empower ourselves to take care of each other. Because I really do believe that we're going to survive this, and that we can create a better place for all soon, I hope.
Yeah, and I think that, like we've talked about, everything with the World Cup going on right now is showing Americans what it's actually about. Like, we see what we used to be, the love and the appreciation for anybody from anywhere. And, you can have a good time, you can relate to one another. And I think we've just been missing that for so long. So it's bringing out the best in us. And I think if we can continue that, that would be amazing.
I agree.
Because I watched the TikToks of everybody just having a good time. And it's like, I feel like this is what we used to be, 2014. Like, back in the day.
I know.
Love is love and all that.
So. Yeah, seriously. Love is love. Damn. It's been at 1000% so inspiring. And I have to shout it out, because Lawrence fucking Kansas, just for people listening, we grew up like 15 minutes from there in a community that is very different than the one that Lawrence, Kansas is. And it was my first refuge after I graduated high school, to find a place that was full of people that really cared about one another and had a community that they were trying to create something different than what we grew up in. And to see them embrace Algeria, which my grandmother immigrated from Algeria, it's literally been one of the most beautiful things to see. And it's healing for me, because my grandmother was really afraid to talk about her background at all. She was so secretive. I know she was treated like shit because of her accent. And I just love seeing that again. That is something that the World Cup has shown, that there are so many decent, incredible people here that want to connect to others, that don't want to let hate divide us. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah. I think the other thing that has stuck out to me too is those that are caring and kind truly do have the loudest voices, like by their actions. And, you see a lot of hate on the internet, and that has not been present. Like, we know those people exist in real life, but that has not been present in the experiences that I've seen anyway, for the most part. And so I think that just goes to show how good actions, the volumes that speaks to others. So we got to just keep that up,
We do.
And just preach some love and peace over here. But yeah, we'll get pissed off eventually. So we'll bring the heat eventually.
Yeah, don't even worry about that. When we get going, it's hard for us to stop. But I really do love that we're starting off this new journey, talking about the things that we care about, what interests us, and what we really want in the world. And I think us just chatting about it, I think, again, it's another piece of manifestation. We want more love. We want more connection. So I don't know if you had any other topic you wanted to talk about for this first episode, or...
No, I mean, honestly, my plan was to wing it and see how it went, and then we could critique and construct after.
thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. We'd love to hear from you if you do listen to this, and we will hopefully get back to the next episode soon.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.